Here are 29 truths I wish I knew in my 20s. First things first, your worth is not defined by others. I used to be like a people pleaser, still kind of like a people pleaser, still working on it. And I felt like I had to seek my worth in other people or other things to make other people happy. You know, like it was to a point where I was putting myself last. Like I would put everyone else's happiness before my own. I realized you are enough as you are. Just remember that. You are enough as you are. There's only one you. And no one can take that away from you, and you shouldn't change, and you shouldn't try to please other people who probably won't do the same for you, you know, the way that you do it for them. Second thing would be, it's okay to say no. If you don't want to go out, don't go out. If you don't want to do the things that you used to do, don't do it. Like, you don't have to put up a front just for other people to like you. Like, this is where the people pleasing comes in too. It's like, don't be afraid to say no, because they're not afraid to say no. So speak up your mind. Number 3 would be healing takes time. And healing does take time. It took me, for example, like, I want to say 11 months to heal from a breakup I thought I was never going to heal from. But God showed me it was possible. But healing does take time. You have to go through it. You have to sit with your feelings. You have to just go through the emotions. Because when you sit with it and you go through those emotions, you get to a point where you're like, I never want to feel like this ever again. And then you make different choices. Fourth thing is God's timing is better than your own timing. There are situations where I feel like why aren't we having it? Like, why can't I have this thing right now? I gotta remember, it's God's timing that's gonna be way better. Like, if you read David's story, there was a situation where the Philistines basically wanted to attack the Israelites and all them, and so he inquired God for some assistance, what to do. God gave him victory the first time. Second time, he inquired God again because the Philistines decided to come back. They were like, we got you this time. No. God was like, you're going to have victory, but you have to go through this a roundabout in this way to do so for you to have victory. And so David did it and he had victory, right? And so it really just showed me like his timing, like the way God's timing of everything to have victory. Like David could have literally just did what he did the first time and was like, oh, we're gonna have victory because God did it the first time. But this time God showed him like it's not always going to be the same way the first time. You might get what you want the first time, but there's other things that might take time for whatever reason, right? But not only that, the timing of where David, when he defeated the Philistines, and they were, at the end it was saying like he became famous, like his fame increased, and then he became the most feared person. And it was like he probably never had the intentions to be famous or to be the most feared person that people should fear about. Like, God had a specific plan and he wanted to do it that way so people know like you're gonna fear him, but it's because of God, right? It's because of what God could do. It's God's glory. And the fame, I guess the fame was fame. Like, this is maybe just to show like this is who God chose to be king, and he's taking Saul out of it and trying to replace him with David. And it just shows like truly God's timing is best. Just wait on it. The fifth thing would be, you don't have to have everything figured out. I used to think that in our 20s you have to have everything figured out, and I was so obsessed to the point where it was like, why, like, people in my life, like from high school, there's people who are getting married and they're having kids and they're living life, they have a house, they have all like 3 cars and all these things, and I'm like, but you got me. I was like, I don't have any of those things. I'm single. I have no house of my own. I don't even have a car, and just like don't even have kids. And I was just like, it made me really think on myself. It's like, why is my journey this way? No matter what, like, God has his reasons. And don't get me wrong, I did make some wrong decisions where it put me into a journey like this. But whatever the reason was, like, we all have our own journey and we shouldn't obsess over everything. And then just to remember, like, there is a time for everything. Number 6, where I highly stress, is so important, would be being single is an opportunity for growth. Just embrace it. Just embrace it. Because I used to think that my mindset as a high school student all the way up to college was like, you had to be dating. Like, if you weren't dating, like, people wouldn't see your worth or value you, or you won't seem cool, or da 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 da, like, or some, like, people don't like you for you because you're not dating. I used to think that way, and now that I'm single, like, it's been a while since I've been single, like, single and not talking to any guys. Like, I've been single before, but this time around I chose to not talk to any guys at all. And this was probably like the best thing I ever decided to do, because now I'm just focused on growth, spending time with God to get to know his character and then his purpose for my life, and do new things, do things that I was scared of. Like, we've been walking on this journey facing fears. We've been growing and evolving, and that was like the biggest thing I feel like God was trying to tell me, girl, evolve. Because I felt like I had the mindset of an 18-year-old, and because when I came to God was back in 2023, so an 18-year-old in a 28 years old body. Like, I felt like I was always 18, and I think it was just because of my mindset. I was like, well, no wonder I'm not growing, because being single is probably like the best thing that I ever done. I highly recommend it, because you will grow, you will find your purpose, and you will see who's for you, who's not for you, who supports you, who doesn't support you. I'm just saying, it's like probably like the best thing ever. Number 7 would be true friendships take time to build. I probably only had one true good friend, and she was my best friend in college. It took time to build our relationship. With having bad experiences with friends, it took me a while to actually go out to eat with her and do all these things, and like just hang out outside of school. So it does take time to build, just depending on each person and how they grew up with friends and their experiences, because in my experiences I have not had a good friend since I met her. Number 8, you don't have to settle in relationships. I felt like I had to settle with a person that I started years of a relationship with, and I just felt like since we've been together for years, we got that history, like I might as well settle. Like, even though it was like I don't even know when it happened, I started to journal where I didn't want to be in the relationship, but I chose to settle because I felt like, 1, history, 2, I felt like because everyone else was living their lives how I planned it. Wait for the right person, wait for someone who truly wants to be with you, wait for the person who is kind, gentle, who talks nice about you in front of you and behind your back. Don't settle. That's my biggest advice. Don't settle. Next thing I would say, failure is a lesson, not a setback. So I'll just talk about a recent situation, would be starting a business. You know, I didn't get orders my first time, which is okay. But there was a moment where I felt like I failed, and I felt like it set me back. But I was like, you know what? I didn't fail, because 1, I started something and finished it. 2, there were actually people who were looking at my site. So like, my SEO was good. I was promoting it well on my social media platforms, especially YouTube, because a lot of you guys came from YouTube. But so I don't think it was a fail, and I don't think any setback, well, it really wasn't a setback, because I learned from it and grew. I learned that about taxes, international stuff, and getting a sales tax a license. I feel like this is a huge one, would be number 10. Success isn't defined by social standards. That is so true. My mindset shift where I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm supposed to blend in with other people. Like, I started to mask myself as other people, but I was always meant to be, and you were always meant to be, someone different. You're not supposed to sit here and be like everyone else. You're truly unique and different, and that's what's great about you. And I know everyone keeps saying that, it's so cliche, but I cannot tell you how true that is. I just can't. So number 11, self-care is a necessity, not a luxury. Prioritize yourself. Anyone who's a people pleaser will know that to take care of yourself is the last thing on your list. But trying to get out of people pleasing, I try to put myself first, but I still want to like think of others, right? When I tell you life is just a mind game, it's just a mind game, and taking care of your mental health should be priority. Number 12 would be, don't be afraid to ask for help, because we all need support. I feel like that's a part of self-care too, is just ask for help when you need it, so you're not being burnt out or run down. Just ask for it. Number 13 would be, your mental health is just as important as your physical health. Take care of both. Definitely prioritize your mental health, because when I tell you, there was one point I thought I needed to go to a psych ward. I kid you not. Mental health is so important, and you do not want to be in a situation that I was in. But if you could prevent it, please do. Number 14 would be you're not alone in your struggles because someone else understands. I was at California at one point and I saw this older woman and this older guy. They were probably like in their 40s. Yeah, like late 30s, early 40s. We were at McDonald's. I was just sitting down, minding my business, and you just hear them yelling, screaming. And he was mad about her losing the wallet, and then she was basically just saying like, no, I gave it to you, da 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 da. He was like, no. So he was like, why do I always gotta take care of a stupid kid? Like, you're so stupid. Like, why do I have to take care of you? Like, he was bashing her in front of everyone. It was so loud, and he was just bashing her. She took it. She just kept saying, well, I gave it to you, I gave it to you, and da 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 da. Like, she didn't defend herself at all. So I kid you not, I got to the point I just started bawling. I just started bawling because I saw myself in her. And I was like, I went through the exact same thing. Not exact words, but the exact same thing that she was going through. And I looked at her, I was like, you're older than me. And you're still going through this. I broke free from this. I'm trying to get away from this. Like, it was because it was so close to the beginning of the breakup. And I was like, when I tell you, I was fighting like hell to never go back to that. And I looked at her and I was like, I can't believe you're older than me and you're still going through this. So I was like, but I related to her. Like, I couldn't judge her or anything. I just felt like I feel so sorry for her. Like, if I could tell her like, you are worthy, that you are loved, that you deserve better, that you don't need this man to survive or anything. Like, get out of that survival mechanism. Get out of that mechanism that you're not worthy, that you're not loved, that you are not good enough for better. You know, get out of that. Get out of that victim mentality too. Like, get out of it, because at the end of the day, it's like, it's gonna hurt you more than it's gonna help you. And I looked, when I saw that, I was like, I kid you not, I was like, I can't believe I see myself in her, and she's so much older. So when I tell you that you're not alone in your struggles, hey, God might show you that there are people who are going through what you're going through. Next thing would be, comparison is a thief of joy. Focus on your own path. And this is something I'm still working on, I am not gonna lie, because I was burnt out last week for, I want to say, about 2 weeks actually. And there was this point where I was comparing my business journey with other businesses that have been in a business for 3+ years, and I was comparing myself like, well, how are they getting orders, like what makes them different? Like, I was comparing like, why can I be that, and da 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 da, like, you know, like, it was really bad. It was just really bad, and it really took the joy of what I was going through, like, especially took the joy out of the holidays. And I couldn't enjoy the holidays because I was so focused on my business, because I was comparing myself to other businesses. Number 16, it's okay to change your mind, because growth means evolving. I cannot stress to you guys, like, I've changed my mind so many times, yeah. It started when I was younger. At first I wanted to be a lawyer, then a doctor, then an NBA player, and then so much more. And I've changed my mind ever since, and it's still kind of like a constant thing. But this time around, instead of quitting, I choose to still stick with it. But if I have the opportunity and the ability to add something else to my plate, then I'm going to do it, you know? Let go of toxic relationships. They won't help you grow at all. And let me just say the growing part. When I tell you, like, I did not grow. I went from graduating college to moving in with this guy in Arizona to a whole different state. When we got there, I was living in the worst environment ever, because 3 dogs, 5 of us, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 kitchen, right? 1 bathroom, that was the problem for me. But anyway, it was like, I went through that, and it was like, it was so unlivable. Like, there was one point, there was maggots in our fridge. I was like, what is going on? I felt like I was going downhill. And then after that, we split, got back together. This time we chose to live without each other, like separately. So we weren't living together. I had my own place. Struggled because I had roaches. The first time, my first apartment, I had roaches in my apartment. Crazy. Ugh. And then after that, it was like, we got back together, still living separately, but it got to a point where the thought of cheating was coming involved. So it really deteriorated my mindset. When I tell you, my mental state was really bad, it was really bad. So I went downhill ever since I went to Arizona. Like, little by little, I was going downhill, and I wasn't growing at all. And I I graduated from college, was supposed to go to grad school for physical therapy. Never did that, because then I came to terms. It was like, you know what? I really don't like physical therapy, because I thought for some reason, you know, whatever my reason was. It was like I was doing so good on my own in Colorado, and then I come to Arizona, and now everything has plummeted. Like, I lost everything. And I was like, what happened to me? You know, when I tell you won't grow, you won't grow. In a toxic relationship, you won't grow, because you're constantly arguing. And especially as a people pleaser, you're constantly trying to think of how to please that person. You're just constantly just focused on that relationship, so you don't grow. Number 18, trust God's plan for you, even when it doesn't make sense. When the whole breakup started, I was so focused, like, what am I supposed to do with my life? Like, what am I supposed to do now, you know? Because I never truly knew what I was going to do with the rest of my life, because I just never found it. And I tell you, God chose my career. He chose my career, and we were working on that. And I took classes for it, and for about, I want to say about 4 months. And then God took me a whole different direction, and now we're in a direction where we're starting a business. We're still working on that project, which is crazy, but now we're working on a business, and the business came to life before this project, and which is why I could speak about the business, because it's the first one that's alive in this world. But it's like, how do we go from this project to this project, but this one came first, and now you want me to start a new project, but we still haven't gotten to the first still haven't finished the first project that we started? I'm confused. But trust the process, because God has a plan at the end of the day. Number 19 will be take risks. They often lead to the best rewards. I feel like I've always been a risk taker, so I really didn't have any issues with that. But they do come with the best rewards. You actually have funny stories, and you actually enjoy life, and I mean, and you challenge yourself, and you experience new things about yourself, and I think that that's the best thing that you could get out of it. 20 would be, you can't pour from an empty cup. Make sure you fill yourself first, and that goes back to self-care or doing any other hobbies that you want to do on your own. I highly recommend having dates with yourself. I want to treat myself the way I know I should be treated, and I was like, I need to love myself the way I know I should be loved, and it starts with me. So I took myself on little dates on myself. So went to concerts, dinner dates, movies. 21, time doesn't heal all wounds. You have to choose healing. It took me to a point where I chose that I want to heal from this, because it's affecting me, my day-to-day life, and it's affecting the people I choose, and affecting just everything, my environment. You would thank yourself in the long run, but it's going to hurt just to relive those moments. 22, gratitude changes everything. Focus on what you have, not what you lack. This is my motto right now, and I truly believe this, because when I change my mindset, I change my perspective from that, it changes the game. Because when I focus on the things I don't have, like I don't have this, and I am so irritated and so frustrated with the life that I'm living and the journey that God is putting me through, that I'm just like, why are we going through this? Because I don't have X, Y, and Z. But then when I take a step back, I was like, but I do have this, I do have this, I do have this, I do have this. And I think about it, I'm like, wait, there's nothing wrong with my life. Like, there's nothing wrong with this journey. Like, I have all good things, and I'm grateful for them. 23, don't chase validation from others. I think this was one of the biggest lessons at the beginning of my spiritual journey. It was God was taught me, like, I should only seek his approval, seek his validation, because other people, it's like, what's the point? Like, they're humans too. They make mistakes. They go through their troubles. They have their insecurities. They have all this, and that. And it's just like, I should only focus on the one and only true God, where I just need to seek his approval and validation. 24, growth often comes from discomfort. Embrace the challenges. Ooh, when you walking with the Lord, this is so true. It was uncomfortable to get back on YouTube. I kid you not. I didn't want certain people to watch my YouTube channel anymore, and it was so uncomfortable. Like, it took me a long time to come back, because my honest reasons was I didn't want certain people from my past to watch my stuff and say whatever, or feel like everything is kumbaya, like she's good now, like her mental health is stable now. Don't be afraid to start over. New beginnings can lead to better things. And I think that was another part of the reason why I couldn't leave my ex, because I didn't want to start over, because I was like, oh my goodness. I always had this thought, like, if we break up and and I find someone new, I'm gonna have to re-meet the family, re-meet the friends. I had to be on my best behavior. I had to do this, I had to do that, and I was just like, I don't want to do that anymore. So I felt like I'm too comfortable just to stay here because I know his family, I know his friend, I know him, I know his ticks and his, all that. And I was afraid to start over. But now, ever since the last breakup in 2023, I kid you not, I think that was the best decision I've ever made, was to finally fight to move on and to fight for myself. Now I get to start over. I never thought I would be starting a business, which is so crazy. I went to college, and my first semester I was undeclared. My second semester I finally decided I was gonna be a business person. Okay, I thought I was gonna be that girl, and it's crazy now I'm a businesswoman. And let me tell you why I chose to change my major from business to physical therapy. Let me tell you why. Because of fear. Because the first day when I chose my business major, my first class was marketing, and in our marketing class we had an assignment that I did not see. It was like an assignment before, like it was during the holiday season, so you had to do it during that time and be prepared for the first day of school. I was not prepared for that because I did not see the syllabus, and I was like, dang. I was like, well, I wasn't prepared, so I skipped that class. But the biggest one was because the assignment we had to do, we had to present it. I was like, what? And then when I read the syllabus, all we did, majority of the time, every Monday, I think it was every Monday, we had to present whatever we were doing for that week. And I was just like, are you telling me I had to speak in front of people and face my fears? Like, you're kidding me. I was like, no. So I changed my major. But it's crazy how I can look back on that now and laugh, because now I'm a business person. I have my own business. It's just crazy. It's like finalized. It's in the IRS. Like, I have my business. 26. You are in control of your own happiness. It's not external. You are in control of your own happiness. You have the choice to be joyful, and even in your suffering, even God tells us to have joy in the suffering. Even when we're enduring a horrible season, have joy in it. Like, I literally so many times had to find joy in certain situations that I was going through, and I was just like, how am I supposed to find joy in this? How? But by the grace of God, I was able to do it. Somehow, some way, I was able to do it. 27. Mistakes don't define you. They help shape who you become. I agree. I totally agree, because I've made a lot of mistakes. It was a mistake to go back to that ex several times. But look who I am today. A businesswoman who wants to help someone who's experienced that situation and made those choices the same way that I've done. I get to tell people my story and try to help people. It's like, it's crazy, It's like I get to help people through something I went through, and I feel like all your mistakes, you can learn from it and you can grow from it, and it does shape you. 28. The people you surround yourself with matters. Choose wisely. Surround yourself with people like the people who followed David. So there was the part of the story where Saul wants to kill David, and then there was a situation where like they were about to meet, and then all hell was gonna break loose. Saul got turned around because I guess the Philistine was attacking his town or whatever. His supporters, the people who supported him to go through that battle, they can easily have been like, you know what, why are we going through this? Why are we running from someone who's not supposed to be king anymore, and you're supposed to be king? Like, why can't you do your kingly duties? Why can't you man up and do this? Like, be about it, right? And it's like, no, they chose to be like, no, we are going to choose to trust God's process and trust in you that this is the best route that is supposed to happen, and that good was going to come out of it. And they chose to stay with him and support him through his decisions and go through the struggles with him. When I tell you the people you surround yourself with is so important, I kid you not. God loves you unconditionally. No matter what mistakes you've made, he loves you unconditionally. And I feel like that's so true. I made so many mistakes, and he's still here. He's still helping me. He's still supporting me. He's still there. He still listens. And I'm just like, God, I cannot live life without you, without a doubt. Like, I go to him with my problems. I go to him when things are good. Like, me and God, when I understand Kanye was like, yeah, God's my bestie, I understand now, because he knows everything, and I tell him everything. And when I just gotta talk to him about it, and it's true, because he's the one God is the only one who will love you unconditionally, even when you do something wrong, even when you're not faithful, even when you do this and that, right? Like, us human people can try to do it as best as possible, but shoot, I can't say I could do that. At least for me, I can't say I could do that. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoy this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.